Mal O'Brien wearing that whoop strap. You saw her baseline numbers. Annie Thorisdottir also has one. The two athletes will lift at a time, and we'll start at 160. You make the lift, you move on. You don't, you're out. Emma Tall and Emma Carey. Tall is on the left, Carey is on the right. 160 pounds on the barbell.
And we do have a tiebreaker. On the left side of the competition floor is barbells that have 145 pounds on the bar. So if we have a group that misses, they'll do a 3-rep squat snatch race to break the 3-way tie.
Carey has hit hers, and Emma Tall misses her first attempt. 20 seconds total in which to make the lift, and now Emma Tall on her second attempt, and she will stick that.
And what we're gonna see a lot of early on is nerves. They've been sitting in the corrals. They did warm up for this event, but usually you have 10 to 15 minutes from your last warm-up lift to your first event competition lift. So a lot of times you see athletes very shaky on their first couple attempts.
Bailey Rail on the right, Jacqueline Dahlstrom on the left. Rail missing her first attempt.
We're starting at 160, and that is not a lightweight when you think about the totality of events that we've had coming in. This is the 3rd day of competition. This is the 12th event we've done in 4 days because these athletes got a break. But it's not like it's been easy sledding to get to this point. I mean, think of what we just did in event 11.
Ariel Low in her opening attempt on the right. She makes that. Now Turi Helgadottir will hit 160.
And what I love about this lift, different than what we did yesterday, is that it's a completely different test of strength. Yesterday in the clean events, it was about speed, intensity, and really just pure raw power. You can fake a clean, Sean. You can get it close to where it needs to be and hang on to that weight and be able to stand up with it. You cannot fake a heavy snatch. Everything has to be precise, accurate. You need balance along the movement.
Emily Rolfe will make her second attempt count as Emma McQuaid hit hers. So far, every woman has gotten through the 160-pound barbell.
And she missed the first one, got the second one. As I said before, it's not going to be anything new. We probably will see this a few times.
Catherine Davidsdottir on the left, Danielle Brandon on the right. No problem for either one of these athletes.
These are two athletes that have a 200-plus listed snatch coming in, so this is not really going to slow them down. And as we get closer to the top of the leaderboard, the way things have been shaking out so far is that your best lifters have yet to come. These are two pretty good ones. Now, a little bit different of a heart rate for Mal O'Brien earlier. And it's not that she's physically exhausted, but that's just nerves stepping out on the platform for the first time.
Gabriella Magala is under it. Mal O'Brien was picture perfect on that lift. Somewhere Coach B is saying, I'll adopt her.
Two great lifts, both hitting on the first try. Now here's who you're going to look out for as this goes along with Barnhart and Thorisdottir. Barnhart's already ready to go. Just let me lift. Let me get this over so I can go sit down and rest up when it gets heavy.
Barnhart sticks that, and 160 good for Annie Thorisdottir. Brooke Wells and Haley Adams will be next. Brooke Wells at 6th place overall coming in. Haley Adams in 5th.
Now, different than what we saw in the clean event, Sean, in 2019, is that all these athletes have been given the option to do any style snatch they want. They're opting for squat. You can power, you can split. Everyone is opting for squat right off the bat. Different than 2019 is that most athletes powered until they were forced to get below the bar.
Christy Aramo O'Connell, 4th place overall. Kristen Holta on the right, she's in 3rd.
for a lot of these athletes, this is just a confidence boosting lift. Getting it on the first one, executing the way I want from a technical standpoint. As your top two on the leaderboard step up to the bar for the first time.
Everybody gets through the 160-pound barbell, and now the weight will go up to 170.
As we look at this test in the scope of what we've tested so far, if you think back of two specific modalities we hit on day one and day number two, we did a single modality sprint test. And then last night, we did a single modality gymnastics test. Tonight, we have a single modality weightlifting test. And this is where the balance along the programming starts to stack itself up as we're working towards the final day of competition. You want to make sure is that if you're going to isolate one of those individually, you should do it across all three modalities between monostructural weightlifting and gymnastics. So this is the circle getting completed for this type of single modality test.
Round two about to start, 170 pounds on the barbell, and it's Emma Tall and Emma Carey.
Emma Carey, previous to starting, was at 106. Now her heart rate's at 140.
Both women will make it through that. Emma Tall missed her first attempt at 160, but did not need a second attempt at 170.
And an elevated heart rate does two things. It either makes you nervous or it gets you excited. I tell a lot of athletes who get nervous is you just got to change the way you perceive that stimulus of your heart rate being elevated. Rail misses again. She just needs to finish her lift. She's trying too hard to get under the bar faster. And what you should tell her is that you just need to spend an extra half a second getting above the bar and get it where it needs to be, and she did that on the second one.
Second straight time, Bailey Rail needs 2 attempts to make the lift count. They have a 20-second window in which to lift.
Now, you can't live by that for too long once it starts getting heavier, so you're gonna have to start hitting it on the first one.
Turi Helgadottir on the left, Ariel Lowen on the right. Helgadottir, 16th place overall. Lowen is 15th.
Lowen, a little shaky on 160. Much better on 170. Lowen is one of those athletes that basically accidentally PR'd her snatch at the Granite Games by about 10 or 15 pounds. She didn't know what she really had on the bar until they told her that she hit 190.
Rolf on the left, Emma McQuaid is on the right. Rolf 14th place overall, and Emma McQuaid is in 13th.
Good reps for both. And a lot of these lifts are well under what their max lifts are, but once you start creeping up to that 80–90%, the technical aspect of the lift comes into play, because you could have all the strength in the world, but if you catch it a ½ inch in front of that receiving position, it's going to come crashing down to the platform.
Davidsdottir and Brandon up next. Davidsdottir currently in 12th place. Danielle Brandon in 11th, 682 points. No problem for either athlete.
And for Davidsdottir, who's really not quite firing on all cylinders so far, if you wanted to put a max lift event in the CrossFit Games, this is exactly what Davidsdottir needs to get back on track. This is one of her favorite lifts to do in front of a crowd.
Mal O'Brien and Gabriella Magala, your next two athletes up. O'Brien in 10th, Magala in 9th.
We're talking about first lift nerves. O'Brien, well, she was at 120, and then they called her name and it jumped out 20 beats per minute.
Magala has that. Mal O'Brien looking really good on that lift.
O'Brien hit 195 at the Granite Games in a much tougher format. At the Granite Games, it was a lift every 20 seconds, but you only had 3 rounds to do it. Here is a wonderful way to really showcase and display the strength that these athletes have by not rushing them through 2 or 3 reps. And these aren't just blow-off weights for these athletes. These are training weights. These are dialing in technique. These are getting yourself warmed up for when these weights start to get heavy. So you can't just look past the lighter weights. You got to use these as a setup for once these weights start getting real heavy.
So far, 16 women have hit the 170-pound barbell, and 4 remain. Irma O'Connell, 4th place overall. Kristen Holte in 3rd.
These two have been basically lockstep with each other for the last 2.5 days of competition. And as I said coming in, this is going to be the lift or the event that's going to possibly hurt them.
Holte will make it, Irma O'Connell will not. So Irma O'Connell bows out at 170.
So Holte will have a seat, and O'Connell will go to the tie-break bar if anyone's unable to lift it, but with Horvath and Toomey, I don't think that's going to be the case. So they'd have a 3-rep squat snatch race to break that tie.
So Irma O'Connell now will take 20th in the event. We're down to 19, 175 on the barbell.
The athlete with the highest listed snatch in this group is Brooke Wells at 215. Laurel Horvath is next at 205. Tia Toomey's at 202. But if you think back what happened at the MAC, is she's got more in the tank than we saw in the semifinals.
Ramwad is the official mobility sponsor since 2016 of the CrossFit Games. Unlock your performance potential at ramwad.com/CrossFit. Third round now, 175 pounds on the barbell, and it's Emma Tall and Emma Carey once again.
Here we go, Carey, the black jersey.
Tall had missed one of her early bars. Emma Carey looks great. Tall looks much better. Those early misses for Tall were, again, just a little bit of a first rep jitter.
Up next, we have Jacqueline Dahlstrom and Bailey Rail.
Dahlstrom and Rail back to the barbell, and Rail has needed 2 attempts in the first 2 rounds.
And we said that was a product of her rushing underneath the bar, not finishing her pull at the top. We still have 5 seconds to get inside the 20.
Second attempt for Dahlstrom, and she will make it count, and Rail will not.
We said there's going to be a certain point where we get to a certain weight where you're just not going to have enough time to get a second lift. I think Bailey's fully capable of hitting that. It's just, that's what we said earlier at the start of this. The accuracy that you need and technical efficiency you have to hit this lift specifically is so important.
Ariel Lowen will hit it. Now Helgadottir. That is good.
Helgadottir is so good technically, and it makes up for, I would say, the top end strength that she lacks. And that's the cool thing about this lift, is that you can be the strongest person on earth, but if you don't have the technique or the proficiency, you're not going to have the highest total lift.
Emily Rolfe missing that. Emma McQuaid is good.
That was a tough miss for Rolfe. I'd be careful on your next one. That knee buckling in. And that just means your feet are going too wide trying to receive that bar.
Rolf is not going to make another run at it, and she will join Bailey Rail over in the tiebreak.
So we'll get a little tiebreak race.
Please welcome back to the platform, Danielle, Brandon, and Catherine.
After we run through all these athletes.
$175 good for Catherine Davidsdottir, the former two-time champ, and Danielle Brandon advancing as well. Back to Magala on the right and Mal O'Brien on the left.
O'Brien has been so explosive over the last 3 lifts.
And they will move on.
Please welcome back to the platform, Amanda Barnhart and Annie Thorisdottir.
Amanda Barnhart and Annie Thorisdottir. And both of them will hit 175 pounds.
Most of your top athletes that are left all have a listed snatch of 200 or more, so we have a few more bars to go just to get to your top athletes' max list. So we said Brooke Wells is 215. Haley Adams PR'd her lifts at the MAC at 185. So she's only attempted or hit this lift once or twice in her career.
And Haley Adams will stand that up. And this crowd wanted nothing more than to see that lift happen. As long as you start the lift before the end of the 20-second window, it is good. Now Kristen Holta and Laura Horvath.
All right, that's great for Holta. And she was very close to Irma O'Connell. She only had a 15-point lead on her. She's trying to hold on to that 3rd place position. So to get through another round, that's good for Holta.
There's Tia Tooman, no problem, 175.
Now, it's not the biggest of deals, but it is a change, is that as these athletes get knocked out, some of the athletes, depending on what platform you are moved up 30 seconds faster than what they had because Horvath was normally lifting with Tia.
The tiebreak for this event, 3 squat snatches is 145 pounds for time. Then you have to cross the finish line. Head judge Adrian Bosman out there briefing both Rail and Rolf.
Here's the crazy part. Think of how far the sport's come. In 2009, the winning snatch was 140. In 2021, we're doing 145 for 3 reps as a tiebreaker. That's how far these athletes have come.
The winner of this tiebreak will finish 18th in the event.
And a little bit different than what we saw in 2019. It was power cleans. Well, it was clean anyway. You must squat this lift.
Stand by. Come on, Madison, put your hands together for this tiebreaker.
Rolf through 1, just ahead of Rail. And now the 2 of them neck and neck, final rep. This might come down to the race to the finish mat. Rail takes off first, and depending on where the chip was, it's going to be Bailey Rail by 0.3 of a second. So Rail will take 18th, Rolf will take 19th.
All points matter, each and every point can make a difference on that leaderboard.
We are down to 17 women remaining. 180 pounds now on the barbell. Emma Tall and Emma Carey. Emma Carey hits that. And Emma Tall's lift is
Stay on the platform.
good.
You have to stay on the platform for the lift to count. Emma Tall messing with her elbow a little bit.
Dahlstrom and Helgadottir now at 180. Dahlstrom will miss her first attempt. Helgadottir will make hers.
That was better than 175 for Helgadottir.
One more attempt for Dahlstrom and loses it behind her. Dahlstrom will bow out.
We've got Ariel Lowen and McQuaid approaching for barbell next.
Emma McQuaid on the right, Ariel Lowen on the left.
Lowen is approaching that max weight for.
McQuaid has it, and so does Lowen.
Previous to a few weeks ago, that was her PR. She had that competition PR at 190, so it's a little bit, say this is a little bit boost to the crowd than it was at the Granite Games.
Thorisdottir and Danielle Brandon.
It's about 90% of what their max lift is.
Brandon is through. Thorisdottir needs to make another attempt.
Thorisdottir has it. She just has to get those elbows driving to the ceiling a little bit harder at the top of this pull. There we go.
Second attempt good for the former two-time champ.
And this is exactly what we're saying about the accuracy it takes to be successful in this lift. The second lift looked effortlessly easy, whereas the first you wondered if she was be able to go any heavier than that. And that is the difference between a little inch forward or a little inch backwards.
Now Mallory O'Brien and Gabriella Magala. 180 pounds on the bar. Both O'Brien and Magala will take a break before they will face the 185-pound barbell in the next round. Amanda Barnhart and Annie Thorisdottir up next.
Please welcome Amanda Barnhart and Annie Thorisdottir back to the platform.
Gosh, Barnhart looks so good.
Remember the last time in 2019 when we had that one rep max lift here at the games, it was Barnhart who went toe-to-toe with Tia Toomey. And Barnhart, as you mentioned earlier today, had that bum ankle.
Exactly. She did it on a bad ankle sprain that she had got from the ruck run previous to that and got second in the event. So I've been waiting to see what a healthy Amanda Barnhart is going to look like in an event like this.
Brooke Wells misses her first attempt. Haley Adams is going to try and fight through this and not able to keep it. Second attempt for Wells, and that will be good. Now second attempt for Adams, and she just has nothing left in the tank. But gave this crowd a lot to cheer about after her lift at 175, advanced her into the fourth round.
Haley sitting 5th overall. Brooke Wells is behind her by almost 50 points. It's 48 points between her and Wells, between 5th and 6th. Now the one good thing for Haley is that O'Connell was ahead of her by 14 points.
Holta's second attempt won't be able to make that. We have now 3 women who have bowed out on the 180-pound bar. Dahlstrom, Adams, and now Holta. Toomey continues to make difficult things look easy.
Well, think about her experience, and not just on the CrossFit competition stage, but the World Olympic stage that we're talking about in Rio, where she competed for Australia in the weightlifting events. Now, I was saying the importance of how Adams did well so far to get ahead of O'Connell. She also needs to beat Holta if she wants to keep some pace or some ground between her and those top three or those top two spots, trying to stay close to that podium position.
Adams, Dahlstrom, and Holta in a tiebreak for spots 15, 16, and 17 in the event.
So Wade Haley can handle, but she doesn't have two easy athletes to compete against either. Now, the one thing you cannot do is miss, and that usually happens when you rush the lift.
Tiebreak underway between Adams, Dahlstrom, and Holta.
Holta missed her first rep. That is going to open the door for Haley if she can get that third one quicker.
And Dahlstrom with touch and go.
Oh, Holta
Adams
missed another one.
Standing up. Adams is in.
Holta missed 2 reps. And we said that going in. There's a lot of pressure for speed. But that doesn't mean you rush the lift.
Unofficially, sorry, go ahead, James.
That's good. You miss it out front twice. That's just a product of rushing, trying to get under the bar too quickly.
Unofficially, Dahlstrom takes 15th. Adams will take 16th, and Holta 17th in the event, and now 185 on the barbell. And McCary underneath that, and the youngest competitor in the field stays alive.
Now Tall, I think that was a confidence miss because of, she was grabbing at her elbow a little bit after the last one, so, and not as much confidence in that receiving position on that lockout.
Tall.
Tell you what,
will exit.
For Haley Adams, that's probably the best case scenario she could have asked for based off where she was on the leaderboard. She was behind Aramo and behind Holta. She wasn't going to do well in this event, but if at least she beat 2 people ahead of her on the leaderboard, that's the best case scenario Haley could have asked for.
Ariel Lowen trying to steady herself. Now Turi Helgadottir will hit 185. Lowen did not get the second attempt started, so she will join Emma Tall at the tiebreak area.
Please help me welcome back to the platforms Emma McQueen and Thorisdottir.
Now, as we are at 185, you're talking to athletes that have 200-pound listed snatches. You got to keep in mind what they've already gone through.
Davidsdottir is good.
Good fix for Davidsdottir. Corrected what her mistake was on the previous bar.
Emma McQuaid keeping a close eye on the clock. She just has to start the lift using all the time she can. And it pays off for her as Emma McQuaid will advance.
That was a very confident lift for McQuaid.
So far, 2 women have not been able to complete this lift. Emma Tall and Ariel Lowen, as Mallory O'Brien and Danielle Brandon are on the platforms. And Brandon is good.
That was good for Brandon, but it looked like O'Brien completely changed her technique on this lift.
Mallory O'Brien is out.
And sometimes that happens. By the way the weight felt on the previous bar, sometimes athletes get in their head that they feel like they need to do something extra. And not extra in terms of intensity through the same technique, And sometimes they feel like they need to pull a little bit harder with their arms, where that's not really the case. That's not how it's supposed to be.
Gabriella Magala and Amanda Barnhart. And Barnhart loses that forward. Magala is good. Only 11 women remain right now. Second attempt for Amanda Barnhart. And she will not hit it. And she is running out of time. So Amanda Barnhart will not move on.
And that's a mistake. That was just a technical mistake from Barnhart, because the previous bars to this were effortless and it was just a little out in front. And that is tough to watch. And Barnhart knows it if you see the look on her face.
Brooke Wells and Annie Thorisdottir, 10 women remain.
Well, Sean, we're talking about moving your rest time up a little bit as the athletes go out. How about changing platforms? And that is one thing that happened to Barnhart, is that Barnhart has been lifting on the left platform for the last 4 rounds and then moved to the right. You don't think that makes a difference, but it absolutely does.
Tia Toomey and Laura Horvath will be the final 2 women at 185. And then we will have the tie break. And both of them are good. 4 women in this tie break. Emma Tall, Ariel Lowen, Mal O'Brien, and Amanda Barnhart. 10 women remain, which means we are now going to move to the single platform in the middle of the floor, and they will lift 1 at a time.
Now you got to learn a lesson from what we saw happen to Kristen Holta. Yes, it's for time. Yes, it's for speed. But we cannot rush the technique that we need, because, yeah, 145 might not be light to what we just hit for 1, but it is not a blow-off weight.
Stand by.
Spots 11 through 14 will be decided here. Amanda Barnhart just going to go touch and go.
You think she's a little angry about missing that last one?
Barnhart's going to take 11th.
Mal O'Brien just missed a rep.
Lowen is in 12th. O'Brien is done. She'll take 13th, and it'll be Emma Tall in 14th. Amanda Barnhart in 11th place.
That's tough. This is an event that Barnhart has an opportunity to take at least a top 3 spot in.
Just 50 points added to her total.
And again, that's why I love that we're doing the snatch here. We already tested the clean. The accuracy component, just to try to put it in perspective, think of you shooting a free throw from the free throw line. The accuracy needed on a snatch is like shooting a free throw into a golf hole relative to a normal basket. That's the type of accuracy difference you have when it comes to the snatch versus a clean.
190, and Emma Carey will lift all by herself. 19th overall after 11 events, and this event will help that standing. She'll try to make 1 more attempt in her 20-second window.
They get 30 seconds now that we add to the single platform.
Carey won't be able to make it.
That 190 attempt, her PR is 200. Think about how long it takes to PR a lift at this level. 1 every 3 to 4 years, you got a 2-pound PR. Think about trying to do that after 12 events of competition. So the fact that they're hitting anything close to their maxes speaks volumes to how well-rounded and strong these athletes are after everything they've done up until this point.
1 more attempt for Turi Helgadottir at 190. Two athletes have now failed at 190. Emma Carey and now Turi Helgadottir. Down to 8. Here comes Emma McQuaid.
Now McQuaid missed her first attempt at 185, but nailed the second one.
She will fail at one on her initial attempt.
She had it in a good spot. It just looked like she wasn't ready to receive the bar from the elbow shoulder position. So one of those cues is exactly what she's doing. You want to reach to receive the bar, not let it crash down on you.
Second attempt. We have yet to see a successful lift at 190 as Catherine Davidsdottir steps up to the bar.
And there's a psychological component to that, being in line and watching 3 straight fails at the same bar. Even if you have the capacity to do so, seeing that messes with some athletes.
Davidsdottir will not be able to hit that. She will have to make a second attempt.
You have 30 seconds. Again, all these bars are a little out in front.
So far, the 190-pound barbell is undefeated, as Danielle Brandon will be up next. And the roof may come off this place if she hits this.
Well, Brandon was in 11th behind Mal O'Brien. It's there. It's there, but you've already taken an attempt. You've used some energy. When you get it to the hips, you need to go straight up to the ceiling. There it is.
And Brandon has it.
What a recovery for Danielle Brandon.
Gabriella Magala is up next.
Look at the 10. We started with 4 already on the tiebreaker side.
And Magala has it. And she had a great day too. She had a second place in event 5, a 6th in event 6, and then a 3rd in event 7. That helped put her inside the top 10. Annie Thorisdottir with the whoop strap, a heart rate at 129 beats per minute.
So that's just calm. That's calm for what we're doing at the moment. Very nice. Very nice.
Annie Thorisdottir moving on. Brooke Wells, Laura Horvath, and Tia Toomey.
Now Wells, in her last one, missed the first one out front.
Hey. Uh-oh. Nope. And Brooke Wells is going to be tended to by the medical team here. That does not look good for Brooke Wells. They're going to escort her off the floor. Nope. And she's going to get a standing ovation. But that is heartbreaking for Brooke Wells.
It is, because she's sitting in a good position in 6th, but having a decent day. But from what we saw, that might be all we see from Wells.
Laura Horvath misses at 190.
Again, that buckling of the left elbow. You can't wait for the bar to crash on you. You got to reach for the bar. You got to meet the bar at the bottom. Reach. There it is.
Horvath has it. Tia Toomey looking to be the 5th woman to move past 190.
Good.
She will make that. We'll now have a tie break with Catherine Davidsdottir, Turi Helgadottir, Emma Carey, and Emma McQuaid.
Seen a few athletes so far rush their first lift and miss it. Barnhart was the only one to go touch and go successfully. I still think nice quick singles is the way to go. Got to use that first lift to really set the tone to figure out what you need to do on your second lift. Every effort needs to be a little bit more than the previous one.
This will be for spots 9, 8, 7, and 6 in the event.
Miss from McQuaid.
Davidsdottir's hanging on. First 2 are good. Catherine has her 3rd, and Catherine Davidsdottir is going to take 6th. Emma Carey will take 7th, McQuaid will take 8th, and it'll be Turi Helgadottir in 9th. Now 5 women remain, 195 pounds on the bar. Danielle Brandon will be up first. Brandon coming into this event in 11th place overall with 682 points.
Now we're at the weight where every single thing you do needs to be perfect.
Brandon almost had that. She's trying to punch into the top 10, and she has already passed Mal O'Brien, who is in 10th place in this event. Danielle Brandon will not be able to move.
As we get to these heavier weights, there's one thing you want your athlete to do, is to have patience in the bottom. If you can receive the bar in the bottom of the squat, rarely are you going to miss the lift if you can secure it there. So if you're a little shaky at all, you save lifts at the bottom.
Here's Gabriella Mangala.
Just a hair in front. Tell your athlete, just push through the balls of your feet. Shrug vertically. Try to get an extra inch more at the top.
Second attempt. Mangala won't make it. The worst she can do in this event is 5th. And she will join Danielle Brandon in the tiebreak area. Annie Thorisdottir, Laura Horvath, and Tia Toomey.
Look at her heart rate. Hasn't changed a bit.
Lower than it was in her last lift.
Stone cold.
And Annie Thorisdottir has it.
Annie's riding this crowd. That's 2 lifts that surprised herself.
Here comes Laura Horvath.
And now it's great for Annie. That's a 3rd no matter what happens moving forward. Now Horvath had a bit of a hitch there. She didn't have that earlier. And that's just weight. You feel the weight off the floor. You feel like you need a little extra. No, you drive through that hitch. Drive vertically, pull high.
And Horvath loses it behind her and is going to try and make another attempt
Be careful.
here.
I'd be careful.
She doesn't have it. The worst she can do again in this event is 5th place. And she is already well ahead of the 2 women who are immediately behind her in the overall standings, Kristen Holta and Chrissy Aramo O'Connell.
She's upset because she knows she got a hit at. She corrected, but she received it as if it was going to be forward, and it wasn't, and that's why it spit out the back.
First attempt for Tia Toomey at 195. And that is good.
It's good.
The first woman to win multiple championships will face off against the woman who has won the last 4. But first, the tiebreaker between Laura Horvath and Gabriella Magala, the 2 women who trained together, and Danielle Brandon.
All 3 fully capable of handling this bar well.
Winner of this tiebreak gets 3rd place in the event.
The thing is that they know that, so they got to make sure they don't start too quickly.
10 seconds.
I'd watch for Laura Horvath trying to go touch and go here as well.
Stand by.
Tiebreak is underway.
Horvath is good, and here she goes.
Horvath and Brandon and Magala go and touch and go. Brandon is going to get 3rd place, or 5th place, make that. She did an extra rep. I think Danielle Brandon did 4.
I think she might have got no reps.
But Danielle Brandon will take 5th place.
That sounds like a no rep boo to me. I've heard that a few times at the CrossFit Games. We have to see what happened. As we said earlier, is that you can't rush for technique, so watch Brandon on the left. That's a good no call. I know everybody's probably angry.
Horvath, Magala, and then Brandon. So Horvath will finish 3rd, Magala will finish 4th, and Brandon will finish in 5th.
So what Brandon did is that she dropped the bar before she stood up all the way, right? And I said that about rushing so you don't miss, but not rushing to make sure you get the rep. That was a good no call by the judge.
2 remain, and between them, they have 6 CrossFit Games championships. Annie Thorisdottir up first at 200.
She can get that. She can get that.
Plenty of time is left.
Plenty of time.
15 seconds left here.
You only have to start at 29. Now, like Laura Horvath, you need a little extra at the top, but you got to be ready for that bar at the bottom.
Second attempt for Thorisdottir.
There it is.
And Annie Thorisdottir has it. That is priceless. Annie Thorisdottir was in a state of shock right now.
If you can only see my face reflecting hers.
Just underneath the 30-second cap. Remember, all you gotta do is start the lift. They said it was good. Our clock does not exactly match the one on the floor, and that is the one they use.
Adrienne Bosman is standing right in front of the platform and gave her the good call.
Here's Tia Toomey to tie Annie Thorisdottir. We'll go up to 205.
Annie needs to, here's the thing. She hit 200 on her second attempt. She basically did a full effort lift on the one that she missed. So she has the strength for this lift, but she has to get it on the first attempt. Now for her, we say get taller. When you extend through the floor and you push through the balls of your feet, you have to pull those shoulders straight up, elbows following it, and just wait at the bottom. Secure the bar at the bottom. Make sure you have it before you stand up.
Tia Toomey will go second. Annie Thorisdottir will be up first. Adrian Bosman now coming over the top to Annie.
Look at Tia pacing. Looks like a lion in a cage.
I was going to say, that's exactly what that reminds me of.
With 205 pounds waiting for them.
Annie Thorisdottir getting composed. Regardless of what happens here, Annie will get her second finish inside the top 2 in this competition. She was also second in event number 9.
She's also sitting 7th. 7th overall.
And it was hard to sort of predict where you thought she would fall just because we haven't seen her in competition in a while.
Right. I mean, not just time off, but having a kid, getting back to your maxes. I mean, I remember seeing a video of her doing a lift at about 175, and it just says it felt good to be underweight again. And now you're flirting with 1 pound over the heaviest weight you have ever lifted in your life.
205 pounds on the barbell. It's Thorisdottir versus Toomey. Time to make a second attempt for Annie Thorisdottir.
It's there. You miss a lift behind you, that means it's there.
5 seconds. But Annie Thorisdottir definitely has plenty to smile about.
Now Tia still has to hit this. That's the second part to this equation, right? Annie's not done necessarily.
And the Tiger wants out of its cage.
If I were a barbell, I would wet myself on the platform.
There is no question, man. This for the win for Tia Toomey. Time for one more.
She has a shot. She's got a shot here. This would still be a PR for Toomey.
And we're going to go to a tie break. Is this for real right now? A tie break between Tia Toomey and Annie Thorisdottir.
And they know it too. They know it.
Bonus fitness. No one here is sitting down.
3 squat snatches at 145 pounds to determine the winner.
First across the finish line will win.
You don't think a Coliseum ticket's worth it? Listen to this.
It is electric in here right now as Tia Toomey will face off against Annie Thorisdottir for the event win. 145 pounds on the barbell, 3 squat snatches. If Toomey wins, it will be her 31st career victory. And if Thorisdottir takes it, it will be her 14th. That is Tia Toomey's father. You think that guy's nervous right now?
I'm nervous.
Stand by.
For the win.
Oh.
Toomey is going to take it as Annie has missed her first rep, and Annie knows it, and so does everybody else. Tia Toomey wins event number 12. Annie's still going to complete the work. And she does it with a smile, and you would expect nothing else from Annie Thorisdottir. What a great moment between two champions.
Two of the greatest to ever do it.
You're talking about a Mount Rushmore of CrossFit. These two are going on it.
Welcome back, Annie. Welcome back.